Hugs by Looneymoon. A Canterlot Tea Party.
But if you ask me, he completely deserved it.
Twilight giggled as she reached across a low table for a scone. She was slightly distressed when she found that it was just out of her reach, but was quickly reminded by her old teacher that she had a large protrusion on her forehead which could be used to retrieve such items. Twilight giggled again as Celestia dropped the scone on her former student's saucer, which brought a warm smile to her face. The early afternoon sunlight seeped in through the tall windows of the rotunda as the two ponies drank their tea together. Occasionally, one would fill the other's teacup, or share a fun story, but they were also happy to simply sit in silence and enjoy each other's presence. Although Twilight never did seem to grow tired of Canterlot's regality, she also never seemed to feel out of place, comfortable and content in the presence of her dear friend and mentor. It had been the elders' idea to hold monthly tea parties, in which Twilight would come to Canterlot Castle and spend an afternoon with Celestia. The two would laugh and catch up on the latest happenings around as well as outside of home, but mostly it was a chance to see each other outside of royal duties. Twilight had known the princess almost as long as she had her own parents, and she was always eager to spend time with one of her closest friends. Occasionally, other ponies would join. Princess Cadence had made her way down from the Crystal Empire a few months ago to share a special afternoon, and before that, a very heartfelt tea party was held when Sunset Shimmer came back through the mirror for the weekend. However, there was one pony whom the two couldn't quite seem to convince to attend.
It's too bad that Princess Luna couldn't join us,
said Twilight, gazing into her tea.
She didn't think it was appropriate of her. You know how she can be,
chuckled Celestia.
She was so funny when I asked her.
Absolutely not, dear sister. We could never intrude on your personal tea party. We respect your intimacies and refuse to insert ourselves into your private events.
Twilight almost snorted tea out of her nostrils.
Did she really say that?
Mm-hmm.
More or less.
The princess smiled knowingly behind her teacup. After a few moments of silence, she let out another snicker.
What?
Laughed Twilight.
Do I have something on my face? No. I was only feeling nostalgic,
said Celestia. Another pause.
You know, a few centuries ago, Luna would have dropped everything to go to a party.
No way!
Indeed way. She used to be such a social butterfly. When we were fillies, she was always making friends and stirring up trouble. I find that hard to believe. Luna never attends any of the Ponyville events I invite her to. She didn't even show up to Princess Cadence and Shining Armor's wedding.
Celestia chortled lightly to herself.
Luna was very different when we were younger,
she said softly. Twilight suddenly grew aware of the tense silence in the air around her, nothing at all like the warm tranquility that had been pleasantly shared earlier. As her tutor gazed out of the window into the lowering sun, Twilight realized that Celestia was remembering more than just her fillyhood. Eager to break the uncomfortable stillness, Twilight cleared her throat.
You say that she was gregarious?
Celestia turned to her with a grin, as though nothing at all had happened.
Very. She was the sort of foal who would glue herself to her friends. When we lived in our old castle, I would always see her out and about, hugging a manticore or hoof-bumping a cockatrice, or engaging in some manner with something terrifying from the Everfree.
Twilight stopped at that.
Hugging?
Yes, Twilight, hugging.
It's when you wrap your hoofs around another pony and pull them close.
That made her laugh.
No, I just find it funny that she would be a hugger.
What makes you say that?
It's just...
Twilight paused, hesitant to bring up a sensitive topic again.
Luna is so isolated. As extroverted as she is, she doesn't seem to enjoy spending a lot of time with other ponies. I guess that I just find it odd that some ponies so reclusive would be so... physical.
Celestia sipped her tea slowly, almost solemnly.
You know as well as I that things are not always as they seem.
I have known Luna for all of her life, and I can assure you that she enjoys hugs. Twilight blushed and looked away, flustered.
I'm sorry, of course you would know. It's just that whenever I try to hug her, she always squirms away. I find it strange that you say she actually likes them.
I'm afraid that's a side effect of time, Twilight. 1,000 years of isolation must have taken quite a toll on my dear sister. We should be grateful that the reluctance to hug is a most noticeable difference in Luna. Twilight nodded, biting her own lip. Her mind was going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. She could only think of a few times that Luna had actually endured a hug. When she had been restored to her true self after her banishment. When she had thanked Fluttershy for her help with voice training. When Pipsqueak had told her that she was his favorite princess, and
do you think we should schedule our next tea party sooner than usual? Say, the day after tomorrow? And we could invite Princess Luna too? If it's not too much trouble.
Blurted Twilight all at once. Celestia furrowed her brow and stared at her pupil, confused. What? Author's note. Thank you for reading. This is completely self-indulgent, also my first real fic. Special thanks to Verso for proofreading.
We here at Pony&Wolf Productions thank these amazing patrons of ours for their monthly support, without which all of this would not be possible. We sincerely appreciate it, and every dollar helps, is needed, and will be used to keep us going to produce audiobooks for your continued enjoyment. It is, now more than ever, important that you support your favorite creators if possible, due to YouTube changing in a way that is not very friendly to content creators. Especially small content creators, like us. In recent months, the names you see on screen have enabled Midnight and Visual Pony to keep going and only having to sell off part of their belongings to not end up on the street. As an incentive for everyone, Visual Pony has broken a vow and has promised to read and record Fallout Equestria, Murky number 7, should the monthly support reach $1,500. To be clear, this is the absolute minimum amount needed to keep the apartment and all bills paid without starving, while a production of this size is ongoing. The estimated time for this production would be 3 to 4 years, but people already said that Project Horizons was impossible to do, right? And now look who did it, so with Pony&Wolf, you know we can finish the job. For further information on how to support us, please have a look at the description of this video, as there are also other ways, like our merch store. Sincerely and forever yours, your Pony&Wolf team.